So let's get it started. Good evening once again, everyone. Everyone who's joining us from across the globe. I'm thrilled. The entire Codeavour team is thrilled to have you join us across the globe. And as we kick off this incredible journey of coding innovation and creativity, it is an absolute pleasure to welcome you all for the grand launch of Codeavour 7.0 International. Today, once again, we embark on the journey to explore innovation, technology, and sustainability. Let's get ready to ignite the spark of creativity and make this event unforgettable. So before we dive in, here's a quick overview of today's event. A keynote address from an inspiring global leader, an exclusive panel discussion with experts shaping education and youth impact, the official launch of Codeavour 7.0 International with new tracks, themes, and opportunities, and of course, some special interactions along the way. Now, but first, let's build up some excitement with a short teaser video. Get ready to witness what makes Codeavour 7.0 even more impactful this year. So, are we all excited? Isn't that exciting, guys? I want some energy in the chat box as well, guys. Drop in your emotes on the chat box itself. I would want to see everybody raising their hands and have a huge round of applause for our launch finally for Codeavour 7.0. Now, to set the tone for today's event, I'm honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Alexandra Fur, Member Engagement and Project Officer, Strategic Partnerships at World DIDAC. World DIDAC is the only global association dedicated to improving education worldwide by connecting institutions, innovators, and our stakeholders. Alexandra has been instrumental in building partnerships that bring technology and collaboration to classrooms around the globe. So, Alexandra, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm based in Switzerland, so in the middle of Europe. And thank you very much for asking me for the second time to become a part of this adventure. I'm really excited to know how the next portion of creativity will be light up by us and how our students the students will bring. So when I was asked to prepare something or to welcome all of you, the first story that came to my mind was actually my own, which was about, I was around 15 years old and worked on the sewing machine, helping my parents to with their small business they ran back then. And in one moment of inattention, the needle pierced my finger. So by the time it went very fast, I couldn't, as I realized what happened, it was already too late. The needle has snapped in many pieces. It went through my finger. The finger was bleeding, swollen. I couldn't see really what happened inside. And so we ran to the doctor. The first doctor said, well, go back home and check how many of the pieces are missing. The second doctor actually took the Röntgen picture, an X-ray, what probably everyone these days know. So it's only then the doctor, so the truth appears. So there were a piece, very nice picture of my finger with a needle stuck in deep inside. So thinking about this, my own story, we need to go back to the 19th century when the German physicist William Conrad Röntgen was experimenting in his laboratory. So he noticed something strange. There was a glow running through the room. And a few days later, he took a very first picture of his wife's hand, and the wedding ring clearly visible on it. So when we think about this moment, until then, no one could see inside the human body without surgery. And suddenly, thanks to this one discovery, doctors could diagnose broken bones, detect illnesses, and simply save lives afterwards. So those single ideas changed the world. And those two different stories, which were almost 100 years from another, they said the same message. They share the message that actually you out there could be the next Röntgen. That's how does a small thing like that happened to Röntgen can make the difference in the world. So you are here today, and not just to learn, but to create. And what I saw last year during the last edition, the creativity is infinite. So you will develop projects that may one day save lives, protect the planet, or make the people healthier and happier. So the tools you have now, of course, are much better than the tools the Röntgen had back then. And because of those tools, you are more powerful. And but yeah, the real part, not only the tools, the power. The real power is your imagination, your courage, your persistence. And so maybe you will design the app that helps children track the nutrition, or to help older people to remind them of taking their pills, or you will make the first step to create virtual reality programs that trains doctors, and or a robot that supports elderly people. I think really the creativity and what you start today, maybe you will probably face a lot of difficulties, and not every project will be good just from the beginning. But I really wish you this infinite creativity, and and discovery stories, programs, instruments that will make our world simply better. So that's my quite short story, but I think I'm really looking forward to see in a few months' time what you've created, your ideas, just I think that's all. So to all teachers out there, to all students out there, think about the small story I told you about my adventure with Röntgen pictures, and today you probably you are able to see through bones, through muscles, through everything. But the classroom you see today are laboratories of the future. So I wish you all the best. I wish you power. I wish you creativity, and see you in a few months' time, reviewing and estimating and seeing your project. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. That was such an insightful keynote. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, your perspective perfectly sets the stage for today's discussion, and I think that was an amazing keynote. Thank you so much, Alexandra. Let's hear it for Alexandra in the chat, everybody. So now it's time for an exclusive panel discussion on tech for a healthier tomorrow. Innovations in classroom shaping global well-being. Now, let me welcome our distinguished panelists. First of all, I have Mr. Shashank Khare, development practitioner at HCL Foundation, leads impactful programs for children, families, and communities. Mr. Sujit, EdTech leader at Fortis, is driving innovation and technology adoption in classrooms worldwide. Next, we have Mr. Ronak, innovation strategist and advisor, one of the founding members of Atal Innovation Mission. And we have Dr. Oladapo, editor-in-chief of Education Times Africa, who's using media to inform, inspire, and keep education real. Thank you so much, all of our panelists, to be here. I would request you all to please switch on your cameras and let's get our panel discussion started. Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining in. So I think let's quickly get our panel discussion started. So my first question goes to Dr. Oladapo. So how can educational media space shape awareness about health and well-being in schools? What's your opinion on this?
Good afternoon. Good day, everybody. Nice to see you all. Thank you very much for inviting me to this. I like to say that I'm here on behalf of my organization, the organization I represent, EduTimes Africa, Education Times Africa, but our publication is called EduTimes Africa. And we like to keep education real and to make it as relevant as possible. And the question about how do we use media? I mean, media can be used in so many different ways to get the message across. First of all, if it's in the urban area, you have to remember it's an urban area or it's in the rural area. If it's in the urban area, then of course in the schools you can get it through, different programs, short documentaries. You can use videos. You can even use skits. Here in Nigeria, I mean, just to tell you a little thing, we have a very youthful population. I think about 75% of our population is 24 and younger. And you find a lot of them, on their phones, on devices, watching skits. And, it gets to me a little bit at times because I feel, well, maybe they can use their times a bit more productively. But the fact is that is actually an excellent medium to get messages across. And it's a way that I think educators can actually get education, message across to the youth and to the students. It could be done in a funny way. It could be done in a way that inspires, that evokes different emotions. But whatever way it is, it's just a way to get through to them. Because the fact is that, like I tell people, yeah, we are in the education space, but education is not the most sexy or the most glamorous of things. There are times you need to sort of encase it in something that's a bit more attractive, that'll make people gravitate towards you, so that you can actually pass a message across to them. So yeah, you can use videos, you can use skits, you can use, and like I said, in rural areas, very different. Like in Nigeria, for instance, rural areas, I guess, is probably the same in most developing nations. The access to internet is limited. Electricity may be limited. The level of education, literal education is not as high. And so, if you're going to get through to people like that, you'll probably sort of use something a bit more basic, but there's still technology, which is the radio. And that is how you get through to people, because a lot of them here in Nigeria, they try to keep themselves abreast of what is going on. But like I said, they have constraints. The electricity may not be regular. They may not have access to internet. But what do? They go to the radio and they listen to radio quite avidly to know what is happening. So that is another way to get through to them as well. So yeah, those are ways you can get through to students. Like I said, both in rural areas and in the urban areas of the classroom. I hope I've answered the question.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think all these views resonates with. I mean, all of us are agreeing to all of your views, and I think all of our panelists would also agree to it. Now, my next question goes to Mr. Shijit. So, how are technologies like AI, AR, VR, 3D, and the metaverse shaping healthier classrooms? What are your opinions on this?
Hi, Pancham. Hi, everyone. Hello from Dubai. Um, yes, so that's a very important question, especially right now when we are in the cusp of where AI itself as a technology is transforming, and with the advent of generative AI, it's like opening the Pandora's box. People are just running around and seeing what best tool they can use and how best to use it. But also this gives rise to the challenge of it's not just about using AI, but how do we maximize the effective use of AI and other technologies like VR, AR, and metaverse, uh, without forgetting the fact that at the end of the day, in the classroom, we have to deliver education. We just are not there to showcase technology. Although technology is a great medium, and it could be a very good tool to showcase that learning outcome, but at the end of the day, the students need to learn that particular subject. Now, with the help of AI, what has happened is AI itself has become one of the subjects in the schools, and it has become part of a math lesson, a science lesson, a biology lesson as well. So we have to navigate very carefully in terms of how much we allocate our workload to the AI, and how much the other way around. So we have to be very careful about first finding the need of use of technology. Once we address that need, it's then selecting which technologies to use, and then how to measure the effectiveness of integration of that technology in the classroom. If it's just about integrating, anyone can integrate any technology, right? You can just open ChatGPT and use that for answering your questions. But then why? Answering that why is very important for us, especially as educators and as students as well. It's very important to know that we're going to live in a world where access to information is very easy. So it's not about just giving answers, it's also about knowing what to do with the answers, right? The application of that technology is very important. So that's where I think technologies like AI, metaverse, you mentioned, metaverse itself is a huge paradigm shifting technology, but then is it being used effectively in the classroom? That's a question we need to answer. It's not about just using a VR headset and going and viewing the Eiffel Tower. It's about why are we doing that, and how is it actually benefiting us in the classroom, right? There are VR and AR apps that actually make sense, because I've come across an app, I forgot the name of it, but that is so beautiful. It was made for students to view the world like a dyslexic would, right? So you put on that VR headset and you can see the world as a dyslexic child would. You can see the words on your walls just scribbled and so on and so forth. So that builds the empathy, that builds more compassionate, so they can actually now relate. Relatability is a great thing where technology can come in and plug those gaps. So these are some of the small examples of where technology is actually helping us in terms of education, but addressing the fact that, okay, how are we actually effectively utilizing the power of AI? AI is much more than just generative AI, and especially what we are using right now in the classroom is a very nascent application of AI. It's going to change very soon. By the time we are doing Codeavour 8, it's going to be completely different. So it's exciting for me to see how it's going to look like, how it's going to shape up. So yeah, I believe I'm very optimistic about it, but of course, very cautiously optimistic.
Thank you so much, Shijit. I think I agree that it is important to highlight the best use of generative AI and addressing the challenge, on the other hand, of how effectively we can use AI in the classrooms as well. So my next question would be for Shashank sir. So how can technology support early childhood learning and care at the grassroots level? So what are your opinions on this?
Yeah, thank you, Pancham. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Codeavour International team for giving me this opportunity to become a part of this year Codeavour International competition, and very warm welcome to all the panelists here. So now coming back to the question that you have raised, as a CSR professional and as a professional who have been working in the sector of early childhood care and development. So first of all, I would like to start with a famous African proverb which says it takes a village to raise a child, which means raising a child is not the responsibility of just parents. It's the entire universe or entire society which comes into play and raise a child. So child gets to learn a lot from its surrounding and multiple thematic areas. When we are raising a child, is not just the education, it's health, it's gender, and wash, everything comes into picture. So here it is not possible for a single caregiver to look into all these aspects and move toward the holistic development. So again, the technology will come into picture and will create a holistic solution for a safe learning space for a child to nurture. So here I would say that technology is again can be a powerful enabler to bridge the gap in access, equity, quality for promoting early childhood care and development space. So again, when sometimes really debatable whether screen time for a children who are below the age of 6 is right or not. But when we are working with children, and today is, as Mr. Shajit has also said, if we are not like aligning with the technology, we will be left behind, and we have to provide them a hands-on experience from the very beginning of their life. And it is a stated fact that a child's brain develop its 90% capacity till the age of 6, and a child missing the technology is definitely going to be a big loss in the future. So I think digital learning tools can definitely be a game changer at the foundational skills, which through interactive apps and games in local languages and vernacular languages, of course, we can bridge that gap. Then again, audiovisual contents can be created for children who are below the age of 6 to help them understand all the aspects. And then as you know, in Indian context, we call care centers as Anganwadi centers. So there are always a shortage of human resources. So when technology is integrated into this space, it can all and we can build the capacity of these workers through technology. So they would be able to save time when they are doing their administrative work and focus more on their primary responsibility, that is nurturing the child. And technology, when used effectively for like data analysis and quantifying the impact that has been created on ground, then it's always it's a game changer. And as a CSR or any organization cannot replace government. They can only they are only the drop in the ocean. They can only showcase the low cost sustainable models which can be replicated by government. So again, here we have to use the effective use of technology at this early childhood care and development space to create a nurturing environment for a child. And again, a hybrid approach is I think that I would recommend for this age group for early childhood care and development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shashank sir. I think very well said. It does take an entire village to raise a child, and education apps really need to be given a deep thought for building effective learning at the grassroots level that we are thinking about. Thank you so much for your thoughts. My next question would be for Ronak sir. How can strategic interventions in innovation and entrepreneurship education empower students to become problem solvers for global challenges like the ones that we highlight through Codeavour?
Okay. I hope I'm audible. Lovely. First of all, Pancham, thank you so much for inviting me. Secondly, Olalapo, definitely want to say hi. A very, very dear friend of mine is from Nigeria. His name is Ogona and he leads Junior Achievement Nigeria. So I've heard a bit of things about you as well from him. And both of us were at Harvard together. Lovely guy. Always wanted to go back to Nigeria and serve his country. And he exactly did that after he graduated from Huxley. So, yes. So, hope to see you guys soon in some form or another. Yeah. So uh, so uh, so let me just give you a little bit of context. I was part of India's Apex Innovation Arm, which is the Atal Innovation Mission during its founding stage, and the journey started with merely establishing 500 maker spaces or tinkering labs across the country. It multiplied. I left at 10,000. It's gonna be 50,000. That is one of the reasons that I had returned to work on the policy intervention and how these makerspaces or tinkering labs have been funded across the country. So there was a very interesting strategic intervention there, thanks to the leadership of the former G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant, that every student should have access to an innovation slash entrepreneurial opportunity within a 50-kilometer radius. Okay, that required India to have at least an odd 70,000 maker spaces to start with. Okay, there was a lot of data analytics, there was a lot of ideation, and then there was a lot of equity based action happening within the government of India as well, which was very unheard of due to a fair set of individuals coming in from different varied expertises across the country. So they were not just academicians or they were not just administrators. They were also operators and they were also doers. Uh, when I think in this particular time and age where technology is always a step ahead of education per se, you rather need doers and thinkers together,
It's
and the
6:30.
middle layer of this management is something which we can we can do by. Okay, the intent of creating these maker spaces was not just to establish uh, a infrastructure in those countries. Middle income countries definitely need that. Okay, however, in India's case we also need infusion. Okay, we wanted to rewire a culture. Okay, we wanted to create a space where these students can actually create and experiment freely. Okay, to move students from rote memorization into questioning, or can I do this, or why not me? Okay, we actually were working with students very, very closely and trying to identify what resources they need. One of the things that we realize that we also have to innovate by ourselves and we have to give them better problem statements. Okay, to work on. Okay, so in as our competitions as the competitions as we designed as the federal government evolved, so did our questions to the students evolved as well. We started as a very simple thing in the first rounds of our competition, that hey, why don't you just make a 3D printed prototype. Kids came out with fidget spinners. Some kids came out with very interesting toys and so on and so forth. And then slowly we made it more serious. Hey, now you use the 3D printer to create a gasket for your Arduino for your Arduino prototype. Okay, or your electronics prototype. So we also evolved with them in a systemic way. Okay, it was no curriculum dictated at all, and there was a very, very interesting value addition for these kids. They had the agency or the ability to do things. Okay, in one of the chapters that I've recently worked on, Uh, it's called it's actually called disrupting defaults, where ideas are the currency, and students begins to see themselves as part of the solutions which are bigger than themselves. Okay. uh these things or these approaches are not really something new. Okay, it comes from a lot of macro and microeconomics. It comes from a lot of behavioral theories. It also comes from a lot of systems thinking as well. Okay, and this kind of same philosophy is critical for especially developing countries to find their problem statements and also to solve them. Okay, the lessons across the context is very clear. When interventions combine resources with mentorship, relevance, and a sense of psychological safety, that okay, this is a safe space where I can experiment freely, young people start being passive learners and start being active learners. And active learning is at a fundamental level what is required to create innovators and entrepreneurs across a particular nation per se. One last example is also Uruguay. When I was in Cambridge, I had the chance, I had the opportunity to work with the Uruguayan government. uh, I realized that although I thought 100 schools is not a big number, because I was working at a systems level in India with 10,000 schools, I thought 100 schools is not a really big number. It would be very easy to maneuver around. But later I realized that Uruguay, the country in itself, at that particular point of time, only had 128 schools with the necessary infrastructure to create these innovation and entrepreneurship spaces. So if I would have contributed to creating 100 of them, that's a national change in itself. So your levers have to be always around, and you also need to be very aware and cognizant of the fact that what systems are you working in. And uh, and yeah the and yeah these are the three major value chains that I learned from.
Thank you so much, Ronak. I think we all resonate with your thoughts that on innovation should focus on finding solutions to such challenges that are around us, and we should really focus on active learning to start with. So thank you so much. Now, without wasting much of the time, I have a common question for all of our panelists here. So I'll start with Mr. Shajit. So how do you see technology shaping classrooms into spaces that promote both learning and overall well-being of the students?
Yeah, I think what's happening is right now there's as there's a big wave of integration of AI and all these kind of education technology resources. A lot of focus needs to go on two things. One is the training of the teachers. So teachers need to be aware as to uh, like escaping these technologies is not the solution, is not the answer. That's a very short-lived vision. But also not just diving deep and relying completely on these technologies, but how to find that middle ground, how to find that balance between utilizing the power of these technologies like AI and whatever is beneficial to the delivery of the content in the classroom. So that's one thing from the PD aspects or teachers to get trained. Also, I think senior leaders of schools need to understand that investing and creating budgets for these technologies in everyday use in the classroom, giving access to enough credits to students and teachers to use these technologies is very important, because or else if they are just using it on a surface level, it's more dangerous than not using them at all. Right, so that is one thing that they need to understand. And finally, for the students, I would like to say that they are going to live in a society where technology is all around them. They're going to pass out in the next couple of years, or probably in a decade, and they're going to live in a world with flying cars, maybe AI humanoid bots, all these kind of things happening around, which we have only seen in the movies, but are seeing it happening in real life. So it's not about just learning about those technologies, it's about how well, as a future citizen, you give back to the society, how well you are as a human in a society which is more technical and which is engrossed with more technology. It's how do you become a better version of yourself. So learning about those soft skills, becoming a better communicator, a thinker, learning about philosophy, about application of technology in the right areas, giving back to the society. I think these things need to be focused on more. in balance with the technological skill sets that they're learning anyways. So I think one thing that I love what I'm seeing with Codeavour is students, they are working on these projects which is amazing. But also I see them coming back next year and continuing from where they left. So just winning that particular award is not the end goal, and they should understand that winning Codeavour is not the end goal. Is what you get out of it, take it to the next level and make an impact in the society. That is when Codeavour will actually win, and that is where Codeavour is actually heading towards. So that's what I love about initiatives like this, and I believe that together with sustainability and mental health, challenging those things, monitoring the data that we are getting out of the classrooms, and making actionable insights and actionable kind of policy changes is something that is required, which has to be done from the ministry and the curriculum side.
Thank you so much, Srijit. The same question goes for Dr. Olarapo. Sir, how do you see technology shaping classrooms in spaces that promote both learning as well as overall well-being of the students?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, technology. I mean, for learning, there's so many different ways. For instance, now, let me just talk about Nigeria. Recently the Minister of Education is going to introduce like display panels, smart display panels in all 36 states of the nation, which of course is going to make a lot of difference to the education people. The children will now have information at their fingertips. Even children who are not able to go to the school on that particular day or attend school that day, they have devices at home, can still have their classes, because still participate in what's going on in class and stuff like that. So technology, is able to go so far, really. I would also say that in terms of well-being, I'm going to speak from a slightly different angle now. Our magazine, we speak to education from a very broad perspective, not just academics, because we believe that people are different. They have different talents, they have different gifts, and it's important to sort of bring out what is best in them. And that's what I love about Codeavour, actually, is the fact that you're raising people, you're helping children to discover their talents at a young age and begin to hone their talents from that young age. It gives them a sense of direction. In the same way, those who are more technically inclined, those who are more inclined in TVET, vocational inclined, should also be given an opportunity to learn and to develop their talents. Because really, if I talk about mental well-being, there's nothing more despairing. Nothing more makes a child feel more hopeless than when he feels he's not getting anywhere and he feels that his talents are not valued. Meanwhile, they are. But the fact is that maybe there's so much emphasis on the academic side of things. Yeah, like I said, we approach it from different angles. We believe that education is a wide subject; it's not just academics, and everybody should have his place, and everybody should have an opportunity to develop their own talents and live meaningful lives.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. The same question goes for Shashank, sir. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you, Pancham. So I believe technology, when meaningfully integrated, has the potential to shape classrooms uh, into a safe learning space that nurture both academic learning as well as holistic well-being. So adaptive tools in AI-driven platforms can help children, uh, you know, to learn at their own pace. That, of course, reduces stress and promotes well-being. Then I would say inclusive classrooms are also like promoted by the technology, because most of the time we have often come across that students are also there are few students who are facing some learning or intellectual disabilities. So these technology can definitely identify and can help these students learn at their own space and promote equitable learning for all. Then uh, technology can also empower teacher, and it reduces the routine workload, and the teachers can also support more on mentoring and emotional support for the children. So I think these are the few things where technology can definitely play a game changer and can help reduce stress load, and can empower children as well as the teacher, and can provide the holistic learning environment for all the stakeholders involved.
Thank you so much, Shashank sir. Ronak sir, the question goes to you now.
Uh, Thank you so much. I think this is going to be a very interesting, or I might sound like a broken record, because again I am drawing one example from Nigeria. In May 2025, the World Bank's Global Education Department actually created a report which is called the from chalkboards to chatbots. Okay, they evaluated the impact of generative AI on the learning outcomes in Nigerian students. Okay, for the past 2 years, and how the use of generative AI from 2023 to 2025 actually helped the students catch up from the learning loss that they had succumbed to because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So this was a very interesting study per se, which and I think if I remember, David was one of our friends. David was working on this as well. He's again also a Niger. What we learned from that particular report, and I think most of my thoughts are going to echo around that as well, is how are we mitigating the learning losses of the students through experiential learning per se. One insight was that, because uh, students really do not enjoy being stuck into a classroom all the time. So how did they manage to make the whole process a little more enjoyable, or I would rather say a little less intolerable per se, wherever your allegiances lie. So when I think of the use of technology is a means to an end. uh, uh, Technology has been always a means to an end. Technology is not the end, and this is where the danger is. We are going gunzo over, okay, technology is the next savior. Everyone needs to learn a particular skill set or a technology skill set. But what do we do after we learn that technology is something which is very, 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 very critical per se? uh, every technology must have some kind of a human use. Okay, and that kind of a human use can actually help technology actually shape classrooms, uh, which can promote both learning and overall well-being of the students as well. One very interesting example comes to my mind. I was actually working on a study on creating, and in fact that study will be actually launched on Teachers Day this year, on how can we design better problem statements for students which are more empathetic and which are more evidence driven. One of those problem statements, and this is basically a teaser of that particular document, is that how can student learn a technology, okay, and leverage the technology to mitigate fake news within their school ecosystems. So we created a competition in which the problem statement is that, hey, you are a student of a particular school and you need to create an app, or maybe create a informational dissemination platform using agentic AI, not even artificial, not even generative AI per se, and help the students around you in your school, just in your ecosystem, your box, okay, to stay informed and stay away from fake news. Now, why is this so important? As all of us know, every bit of our time is being taken up by social media or screen time, and right now the big tech is competing for that time. Okay, elections are a big factor in developing nations. Okay, students are the easiest people to be eitherly positively or negatively influenced. Okay, and vote the right or the wrong people. So we created a hackathon system around it, and we announced a problem statement. Hey, this specific problem statement is something that you want to work on. Now, what it does, it gives the student a controlled environment to experiment with, which is his or her own school ecosystem. It also gives the student the opportunity to test it out in a fidelity and low fidelity environment where the failure is learning. Okay, and also it gives the students the sense of psychological safety and the opportunity to learn and work with each other. Okay, one of the major things, one of the major motivators for the students that we saw was, hey, I am building something using quote unquote AI or coding, okay, to help my peers. Okay, and that sense of belongingness was critical to the feeling of well-being around students. So I'm actually toying out with better problem statements right now, that how can I use such kind of very thought-provoking problem statements which students can leverage and build something for at least within the ecosystems. Because once you create a test bed for your idea, okay, you make the fear of or the risk of failure very small in minds of the students. Okay, and now it is no longer around grades. It's like, okay, I know that this particular information is fake. I don't want my peers, or I don't want my parents, or I don't want my teachers to be influenced by that wrong information. Okay, I'm also being a very responsible social citizen of the nation while working on a technological intervention. So when I think of technology in classroom, it is also, I have to be very intentional on how I am using the technology. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ronak. I mean, thank you to all our esteemed panelists for your inspiring insights. I mean, your perspectives remind us, the power of collaboration, technology, and the purpose of shaping healthier and future-ready classrooms. So, everybody in the chat that has joined with us, let's show some love to all our panelists with a huge round of applause. So, thank you so much, all the panelists, for joining in. And now I want to take a moment and go ahead. So let's think about, if you guys want to become the most innovative student. So the one who tinkers, who questions everything, and who sees a problem and immediately starts sketching a solution. Now imagine yourself on a global stage, not just representing a school or your city, but your country. So that's the power of Codeavour. Now, let me begin with a story of our victorious Sindhura. A young girl once walked into a classroom just like yours, curious and full of questions. She wasn't just learning subjects, she was learning how to dream bigger. So let's see a quick video of what she has achieved.
Determination, hard work will end up in success.
Don't you think this was inspiring, guys, and so motivating? I mean, through Codeavour, Sindhura has discovered the world of AI, coding, and innovation. She didn't just stop at learning, she created. Her project stood out so much that it went on to represent her school on an international stage and competing with the world's brightest young minds from across the globe. She was also awarded the Pradhan Mantri Bal Puraskar, recognizing her efforts to build a prototype Helix, which works on enhancing medical care with AI-driven real-time guidance. Now, improving precision in tumor targeting and supporting mental health monitoring with natural language processing. So, and guess what? Sindhura didn't just participate; she excelled. Today, she's an inspiration to hundreds of students, proving that with the right opportunities, children from any background can shine just the way she did at a global level. Now, just imagine this. You guys can be the next Sindhura. Doesn't it sound exciting? I know it's a little bit challenging as well. So now comes the moment that we've all been waiting for. the official launch of Codeavour 7.0 International. Now let's unveil Codeavour 7.0 with our official launch video. This year, we bring you new tracks, exciting themes, and challenges that will push the boundaries of creativity and innovation. Are you all excited? Wasn't this interesting? I want you all to drop your energy in the chat. I want you all to give a huge round of applause for Codeavour 7.0 launch. So now Codeavour 7.0 is aligned with the global mission to foster innovation, creativity, and healthier learning environments. Together, we can help all you students build solutions that truly impact your lives as well as ours. Now, the numbers from Codeavour 6.0 are a testament to the fact that curiosity knows no boundaries. So far, Codeavour has empowered more than 130,000 students from across 70 plus countries to unleash creativity and solve those real world challenges using all these 21st century skills. Now, with more than 10,000 impactful innovations from over 3,000 schools, Codeavour alumni and our ambassadors around the globe aim towards building tomorrow's solutions today. Now, every edition has grown stronger, and with Codeavour 7.0, the journey becomes even more exciting. And I would say personally, 7 times of all the energy together. Now, let me now invite Ayush, the co-host of our today's event, to take you guys through an exciting and challenging journey of our tracks this year. And wait, we all do have a surprise for you guys this year. Over to you, Ayush.
Thank you, Pancham, for handing me the dais. Once again, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the grand launch of Codeavour 7.0 International, the world's biggest AI, coding, and robotics competition. This year, we are not just building projects, we are building the future. And to make this journey more exciting, we are thrilled to announce the 3 tracks of Codeavour 7.0 aligned with the theme Tech for Healthier Tomorrow. Track 1, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Here students will become changemakers, solving real-world problems aligned with the UN SDG, using their creativity, coding, and entrepreneur skills. Track 2, Wellness Wave AI Robo Challenge. Ride the wave of wellness as the student design and program the robots with Quirky and Intellio in the PictoBlocks to tackle 8 AI-powered health and well-being missions. Track 3, Robo Soccer, an all-time favorite, bringing fun together, excitement, and technology. Team will compete in ultimate test of coding, robotics, and strategy on the soccer field. The students can take part by seeing these contest guidelines. Students can take part in 3 different age groups: elementary 0 to 7-year-old, senior 15 to 18-year-old, and junior 11 to 14-year-old. Students can take part in the competition individually or in maximum team size of 3. A special note for track 3, as it's a collaborative game event, your team must have minimum 2 members. Let's explore some groundbreaking track 1 student innovations. Autonomous nursery. Autonomous nursery is a smart system with automated care and a plant health diagnostic app to detect and resolve common plant issues. EcoBlast, an eco-friendly system that safeguards the marine ecosystem by tackling the blast water threats, protecting biodiversities, and ensuring safer and cleaner oceans. Recycling monitor specialist, an AI-powered smart recycling bin that ensures hygienic and water disposable. Neuroflex. A Neuroflex is an AI and IoT solutions that supports remote physiotherapy, seizure detection, and smart sports training for inclusive wellness. Track 2, Wellness Wave AI Robo Challenge. Wellness Wave AI Robo Challenge invites students to harness AI and robotics to promote health, fitness, and well-being. Using Quarky and Intellio, the programming with PictoBlocks, participants will design robots that take on 8 exciting arena challenges inspired by real-world health and wellness needs. This track encourages innovations, teamwork, problem solving, empowering the students to build track-driven solutions that create healthier and more sustainable communities. Track 3, Robo Soccer League. Robo Soccer League is an exciting and action-packed challenge where students design and program their own robots to play soccer. Here, participants will build robots that can move, chase, and kick the ball with the precision. This track not only brings fun and competitiveness, but also helps students to develop STEM skills, teamwork, strategy, and problem solving. And now, the most exciting part for our young innovators, the prizes. This year, a total of 100 prizes and mentorship worth 25,000 US dollars. Includes gadgets, mentoring session, STEM kits, cash prizes, medals, certificates, and trophy. It also includes in special awards, Girls in STEM Award, Out of the Box Idea Award, Wellbeing Innovation Award, Champion Changemaker Award for the teachers, and a special award for all the schools who would be part with us, School Excellence Award. Every participant is a winner with a certificate and a chance to showcase their innovation on an international platform. Now, let's take a quick tour to Codeavour 7.0 website where the journey begins. Let me share my screen to take you through our website, which is going to be home for all of us for upcoming months. Now here, as you can see, the countdown has stopped. Yes, you can start registering yourself. As a student, you can click on register now and sharing your own details, you can register to different tracks. Here, the countries which have all the tracks available, you would be able to select the tracks which are available country-wise. Right now, you can see in India, we have all the 3 tracks available. Now, taking you back on the part, if you want to become a partner with us as a country or as a school or as a social impact, do not forget to share your interest with us on a Become a Partner tab on the Codeavour website, where you can check all the details about how you can become and contribute as a country partner and your interest to us so that we can reach out to you and collaborate to bring this change in your country. Similarly, you can, if you are a school, you can become an academic partner with us to bring this competition into the school level to encourage your students to be part of the Codeavour. Now, It's my honor to invite someone very special to the stage. From 2020 runner-up to the double international winner and now mentoring champions, Samriddhi's Codeavour journey is a true story of innovation, growth, and impact. She has been the face of youth innovation, inspiring students globally as an ambassador of Codeavour. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Samriddhi Kori to share her words and vision with us. Samriddhi, the dais is all yours.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. As you know, I'm Samriddhi, and I've been a part of Codeavour for almost 5 years. The first 4 as the winning participant, and the 5th year as a mentor of a winning team again. I would like to share my experience with Codeavour is that Codeavour is the literal reason I'm here, because my entire robotics journey, or even, just the idea of robotics started with Codeavour. First, when I won my first year of Codeavour, I was gifted an Evive robotics kit. I started tinkering around it, started building innovation projects. And by the end of the next year, I had 2 innovations under my name. One was Red Rapids, and the second one was S-Smile, followed by Sakhi, the humanoid robot, and Dronacharya. Codeavour has given me the chance to innovate, keep coming up with different solutions every time. And also it's been an epistone for the journey. I've always, thought outside the box. It gave me a chance to, travel internationally, meet new people around the globe, network with them, and, just find out about their cultures. And, every time I go step out and talk to a different person, I hear about a totally different innovation. Someone was literally purifying water with like the most different technology that I thought of. So it was like a really cool idea to have it all offline. And last year, when I joined in as a mentor, I got to see Codeavour through a totally different perspective of how, kids innovate. It was like a team of 8-year-olds, and seeing them being able to, get a chance on an international platform was an amazing opportunity. Thank you so much, Codeavour. And guys, I would like to say this is going to be the most memorable experience of your life. Do not miss out. Register for 7.0, and I bet you'll be back for the next edition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samriddhi, for sharing your story with everyone. The guys weren't that motivation. Let's have a shout out for Samriddhi in our chat. Now handing over the dice to Pancham.
Thank you so much, Samriddhi, for sharing your story with everyone. Don't you think, guys, it was so motivating to see Samriddhi excel so much, and from being one of the participants to being one of the mentors now. So let's have a shout out again for Samriddhi in our chat box, guys. And thanks so much, Ayush, for taking us through our tracks and all the information. Now, moving forward, the journey to the International Showdown in Indonesia begins today. You have a clear path from regionals to nationals, and this is your chance to compete and represent your school, your city, and your country on a global stage at Jakarta, Indonesia next year. We are not on this journey alone. Our vision for Codeavour is shared by some of the most influential organizations in the world, and their collaboration is a testament to the credibility and impact of our program. We are proud to have Future Skills Education Foundation as well as Tempedia as our core organizers, driving the mission to empower young minds. We've also collaborated with prestigious institutions and global companies like World Didactic Association, a leader in educational resources, and ArtPark, a pioneer in AI and robotics innovation. Our event has been powered by the incredible support of our partners like AWS and Vodafone. And we've had the honor of working alongside government initiatives like the Atal Innovation Mission from Niti Aayog. These collaborations don't just add a name to our list, they provide our students with unparalleled access to industry insights, expert mentorship, and global recognition. Thank you to all our collaborators for believing in the power of our young innovators. Now, we've been talking about the power of our students, but that power is amplified by the global network of visionaries who believed in our vision. We call them our evangelists. These are not just our supporters, they are global leaders in the education and technology who echo our belief that every child is a future innovator. And amongst them, we had one of our evangelists, Alexandra Fur, with us today, talking to you guys and motivating you. We also have Asha Jadeja Mudwani, a philanthropist who ignites disruptive ideas. She believes our youth is already shaping a better future. And we have Biswajit Sahasa from CBSE, who honored our events and is preparing all the students for the future to compete in our competition. We also have Sherry Larista from MIT's FAF Foundation, who sees young innovators sparking imagination and creating a better tomorrow. Now, these are the voices that validate our work and show that the mission to empower our students is a global priority. When you join Codeavour, you are joining a movement supported by the best minds in this world. Now, we are incredibly proud to have partnered with some of the most prestigious academic institutions across the country. They are not just our participants, they are our academic allies. From renowned names like GEMS Dubai American Academy and Chirac International School to innovative public schools like Sagar Public School, these institutions are already providing their students with a direct pathway to global recognition. And they are securing their places as leaders in modern tech forward education. Their partnership is a powerful statement about their commitment to excellence in STEM education. Now, I want you to take a quick moment and ask all of you to quickly scan our Codeavour social media handles to get the latest updates about this edition. And do follow our YouTube channel for more updates on our tracks, competition, the events, and the student webinars and seminars in the coming months. So I'll keep the screen for a minute, and I would request all of you to please scan the QRs that are visible on the screen, and then I would move forward. I hope everybody has scanned the QRs as of now. I want you to go ahead and follow our YouTube channel as well for more updates. Now, as we wrap up this incredible launch, we'd love to hear from you. So scan the next QR on your screens to reach out to us directly for more information and collaboration opportunities. We will directly reach out to you. And thank you for all of you for being here today. And let's make Codeavour 7.0 International the most innovative and impactful edition yet. So happy tinkering, guys, and best of luck to all the participants. And I look forward to seeing you all in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.